Dear Monsanto, this is a message that's time has come. Your time has come. This game's time is done. There's a part of me that wants to rip and tear you down, but an eye for an eye can't make the world go round. So I bring you this message with loving compassion for your reckless ways and your thoughtless action. Even though you patent seeds and poison our food, war on nature, ignore the people you screw, here's a message to the people that work for you, who drunk your Kool-Aid so long that they think it's true. A word to employees of Monsanto. Here are some facts that you should but can't know. Like medicine, a dose of truth hurts at first. Its bitter taste could cause you to lose your thirst to work for a company in controversy. You think a protest like this comes from fantasy? Wake up, please. This is about planetary survival, to keep us species from becoming archival. I am the first person, put myself in your shoes. So buckle up and let me take you for a cruise. Are you ready? There's a place in India called the Suicide Belt, where the swift hand of death has been cruelly dealt to over 100,000 farmers who were sold a story. How you ask? Listen, it gonna get gory. This is a real story of a man named Shankar, who owned his own farm without need for bankers. One day a sales rep knocked on his door with these new seeds we promised could make him crores. We said these new seeds can do incredible wonders, increase your crop and fix all of your blunders. Innocent trust, he didn't see the plunder. This is where the story begins to turn asunder. Shankar took on loan sharks to pay for these seeds, confident now that he could get increased yields. It started out fine, but he soon realized crop needed Monsanto's fertilizer to survive. So he spent the extra money, but it wasn't enough. More hidden clauses made this new growing too tough. So the next year, when his crops failed to grow, he panicked and ran back to Monsanto. Sorry, we told him, we're not the ones to blame. Once you find some more money, we'll get you back in the game. But in the meantime, you can take another loan and a new batch of seeds, which we promise will grow. But Shankar had no money left for new seeds. Loan sharks were threatening, immune to his pleas. He was down to a choice now to give up and flee. But then these sharks would come and kill his family. In panic and shame, he grabbed a own pesticide, wrote notes to his family, and stifled his cries, and swallowed it, dying in terrifying pain. Kids watching their dad writhing, dying in shame. This is just one story of our devilish ways. Can your stomach handle another of Monsanto's plays? And I wanna remind you, this is happening now. This is not just the past, this shit is still allowed. Over 1,000 farmers kill themselves every month. How can we sell a story that we know is so fucked? Can you really stay blind to what you are supporting? If so, let's examine some more of the story. Are you ready? Let's break down why we're engineering our food. Is it the tale to increase supply as we've been told? Or feeding starving families in the third world? Let's see how this plan has really unfurled. So far there's been little increased supply. No long-term tests on GMO in our lives. They are banned in almost all European states, and worldwide they are suffering a similar fate. So ask yourself, why they playing us for fools? It starts with the laws of patent office rules. We've all seen debates about the patents on life. Devil's in the details, here's the edge of the knife. Once food's been engineered to make its genes unique. It's a creative act with the right to reap proprietary benefits. Like any other idea, a result of outdated laws and corrupt ideals. So when the company is issued a patent form, their exclusive right to this life form is born. And now the mission is to sell and spread the patent. Like any company with a proprietary gadget, so they market these seeds with falsified claims, co-opting millions of farmers into their patent game, who plant patents right into their fertile soil. Seeds produced from these plants are banned from being resown. They can't be reused without Monsanto's permission. A Monsantopoly of food was always the vision. This is not about crop yield or helping the third world. It's about money, power, and control of the world. And now with the Monsanto Protection Act, you can't ban GMOs even if the facts prove that they cause adverse health effects, removing the checks and balance because they pay checks to ballots. What? Do they really care about our health, bodies, and mind? Is not all of our food sacred and divine? How can religion say they're protecting God's creations when we allow corporations to modify and misshapen the very perfection gifted to a race? This monstrosity of owning life should never take place. Incentivizing its blatant genetic manipulation with patents and corporate conglomeration, this is a sickness we must make all aware of. Out of all the things in life, this is one I'm scared of. I believe as humanity we can create world peace. But if our food is denatured and owned by these thieves, there'll be nothing left to own. No life was in our blood. We'll have a stew of chemicals replacing our nutritious mud. Let's not forget we are the salt of this earth. But what happens to the earth when too much salt is dispersed? My goal is not to fight or destroy Monsanto. It's to educate you on some truths you should know. Find what you want to stand for in this time. This is the way I know how, encoding truth in a rhyme. I only serve...
Shalom. I apologize, I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm going to go over this as quickly as possible. Okay, Christ's humanity. The humanity of Christ. You know, Leviticus speaks of a sweet smelling savor. Now, that smell that Jah is seeking is the smell of hard work, of sweat, okay, when you sacrifice an animal, it don't smell very nice. It's the smell of sacrifice. So now, that being said, it's important that we note right here, go ahead and take these notes down, pause it. I hope you can see it clearly. Now, the first, up here, the second coming, Hebrews. Let's go to Hebrews chapter 9, verse 26. Very important to... Okay, and it reads... For then must he often have suffered since the foundation of the world, but now once in the end of the world hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. And as it is appointed to men once to die, but after this the judgment. So Christ was once offered to bear the sins of many, and to them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin to salvation. Okay, those that look for him, it's like we've done enough wrong. And anyone that happens to come across this video, listen, we've done enough wrong. And what we think that Jesus Christ, like if we were in such good standing that he's got to appear to us, you know, we owe it to him at least that smallest little sacrifice that we could do to look for him. You see, like it's even those that say that the whole world would see him, those Christians out there, think about it. How can the whole world see Jesus, even if he comes flying out of the sky? No, but we could see him in TV, and his name is His Imperial Majesty Kedamawi Haile Selassie. It's pretty clear. If you can't get over the fact that his skin shade is a little darker, then you got no business learning the business of His Majesty and His Christ, Jesus. Now, continuing. Matthew chapter 10, verse 41. I'm just going to summarize that. Those that seek a righteous man, you know, whoever seeketh a prophet will get a prophet's reward. But those who seek a righteous man's reward, receive it a righteous reward. I apologize. Those that seek it a righteous man, receive a righteous man's reward. People are looking for floating aliens dressed up in blonde hair, blue eyes, or whatever, floating in the sky to say that it's the second coming. Or why don't you look for a good man? And it's not that hard, because there ain't many. And you'll quickly come to understand that it's His Majesty. And it's not even that hard. He's the conquering lion of the tribe of Judah. If you go to Revelations chapter 5, verse 5, it's not that hard, you know. Christians, you know, I'm sure there's some of you that have some good. Try it, you know, try him, try every spirit. But him who claimeth that Jesus came in the flesh and he is the Son of God, he is of God. Now, holiness, total holiness. As I discussed on a previous vid, let me first say Matthew chapter 14, verse 23, when he goes up into the mountain to pray alone, Jesus did not fully, did not fully commit to His disciples or any man, because He knew what was in man. Now, holiness means completely separate. Totally separate. Now, Ethiopia, throughout the Bible, Ethiopia is a form of holiness. Ethiopia was separated from the world to preserve the righteousness of our God and Father. It's that simple. Every time you hear mountains and the preservation of Jerusalem, and you know, the second Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem, it's Ethiopia. Okay, this isn't quantum physics or anything like that. So it's pretty simple. Go check it out. Now, physical attributes of Jesus Christos, His Imperial Majesty, Jesus in His kingly character. Now let's go to Isaiah chapter 53. And it reads, oh, I apologize. Hold on 1 second. Okay, and it reads, who hath believed our report, and to whom is the arm of the Lord revealed?
Hi everyone,
For he shall
my name is
grow-
Jay Sable. I'm the Executive Director of the One Community 501c3 nonprofit organization, and I'm here to report in on One Community's progress for the week of April 22nd, 2013. Our organization is open source project launch blueprinting everything necessary to give people that are interested in it a way to change the way that they live. And our method of doing that is to provide everything necessary to create complete teacher demonstration villages that will demonstrate self-sufficiency and self-sustainability, and to make every component open source and free shared so that people can duplicate the whole thing, or just any individual piece of everything that it is that we're doing. So this is our check-in for last week, everything that we accomplished. We continue to open source and update and share all of the information about the deeper aspects of One Community, the fulfilled living aspects, the community contribution aspects, things like that, how the whole model is designed to run. And this is something that evolved over 15 years of planning and preparation and discussion about how it would work. And so we've updated 2 major pages in this last week. Day in the Life page and the Community Contribution page are now up to date, much easier to read, and they link to all other associated pages. And as always, if you're watching this video blog, if you'd like to see the links to that and have easy access to everything that I'm talking about, we do a written blog as well, and I'll put that link in the description down below. So if you click on that, you can link to pictures and everything else related to what I'm talking about. Other major accomplishments in the last week on food infrastructure: we've created a food space planning page, which is the space planning for the aquapinis, the wallapinis, and the Zen aquapinis, exactly what can be grown on the sloped areas in the aquaponics and the deep water culture and the media beds, etc. So all those details are now done as far as how much space we have for that, and we're in the process of planning out and writing out everything that will be grown there. And if you want to see an example of the level of detail that we'll be providing, we continue to make huge progress on the tropical atrium planting plans, which are done. So all of that planning has been done, what we're going to plant, where we're going to plant it, and the details of all those plants. And so in this last week, we formatted over 50 pictures that go on that page that show pictures of each of the plants that's going to be planted there, and then there's descriptions that go along with that. And so we're just in the process of formatting that page, and hopefully we'll be able to wrap that up this week, and then we can add in all the purchasing details. So what is the cost analysis for buying all the things that are going to be planted within there? And so it's really something pretty amazing. We also posted an Architects of the Future article last week. We wrote it for the Aquaponics Survival Communities magazine. I'm not sure when that's going to be published, but we also posted a version of that article on our blog, and we made some.
The world needs more humanity. Every year, hundreds of millions of people see their lives crushed by conflicts or natural disasters. And every time this happens, humanitarian workers are there to help, often risking their own lives to save the lives of others. They are shot at, killed, wounded, kidnapped, they share the hardship of those they support. But the helpers also need our help. For their service to humanity, they need us to stand by them.